Have you ever thought about what really makes a link and intimacy between you and your partner stronger? Why does a touch, a glance, or a word make you feel so deeply? Other videos don't go deep enough into the complexities of closeness. In this one, we look at more than just the physical aspects, things that affect our lives, both for men and women. It's not just about the physical act, it's also about trust, communication, and being open and honest. Did you know that only 18% of women can get an orgasm through penetration alone? Or that the clitoris has over 8,000 nerve endings, making it one of the most sensitive organs in the body? These interesting facts are only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to understanding the deeper layers of connection. This video will look at the science, psychology, and emotional aspects of closeness. By understanding how emotional safety works, you can find the keys to better relationships and more satisfying connections. By busting myths about sexuality and getting older, you'll learn things that might change the way you think about love and intimacy. So stay with us until the end. This journey into the heart of connection could change your life. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on all of our new videos. I can't wait to hear what you think about today's topic. If you like it, please leave a comment with a 1, and if you don't, leave a 0. Your feedback is very important to me because it helps me make better videos that fit your interests. Now, let's get started for both men and women. For many people, oral sex is a deep and lasting fantasy that creates a safe space for trust, exploration, and mutual vulnerability. It's more than just a physical act. It's a way to connect emotionally, a way to say what you want, and to recognize that you both enjoy it. On average, a woman's orgasm lasts between 3 and 51 seconds, ranging from a short but intense 3 seconds to a long and soul-stirring 51 seconds. The fact that these numbers are so different shows how different women's lives are. Ejaculation is another form of female pleasure that isn't talked about as much. However, it's important to know that squirting ejaculation and orgasm are two different things that have different effects on the body and the mind. With 8,000 nerve endings, twice as many as the penis, the clitoris, which is often called the center of female pleasure, is a truly amazing organ. It's meant to give women unmatched sensitivity and joy. The complicated design of this item emphasizes the beauty and complexity of female sexuality, an area that needs more study and respect. However, getting an orgasm isn't always easy. Only 18% of women can get an orgasm through penetration alone. This shows how important mental connection, thoughtful touch, and communication are for a woman to fully enjoy her sexual potential. During the height of pleasure, a woman's orgasm is a medley of sensations and neurological activity. Every part of her brain is active, creating an all-encompassing experience that leaves her body ready for more almost right away. However, for many, this experience remains elusive. 30% of women say they have trouble getting an orgasm, and 10% have never had one. This is a sign of greater problems in society and relationships, such as a lack of sexual education and emotional disconnects that can happen in relationships. It's not only an act of love to understand and get rid of these barriers, it's also a promise to mutual growth and relationship. The way women want to be intimate is as different as their personalities, which are formed by biology, feeling, and experience. Say that you'd rather have shallow penetration than full insertion, since shallow penetration triggers the G-find, a very sensitive spot just inside the vaginal canal. This complex understanding of anatomy shows how important it is to be open to learning, patient, and ready to change to each other's needs. Open communication between partners is necessary to find out these private preferences, and when done with care, it can build a bond that goes beyond physical pleasure. It's interesting that women in long-term relationships say they have more frequent and satisfying orgasms than women in casual encounters. Because of the trust and emotional safety that grow over time, making a base for openness and shared exploration to succeed. A lot of women also like gentle touch while they sleep. It's an unspoken way to show love that can make relationships stronger. Imagining fantasies with someone without fear of being judged or embarrassed can bring new life to a relationship by giving both people a sense of excitement and connection. Society's unrealistic beauty standards and pressures can be very hard on women, lowering their self-esteem and, in turn, making it harder for them to fully enjoy closeness. The clitoris, vulva, and the areas around it are very sensitive and need to be cared for. It's important to know that even small things, like keeping your facial hair neat, can make you feel better and show that you're paying attention during private times. Paying attention to these little things shows that you value each other more. An important part of a good sexual relationship. Sexual action isn't just a physical act. It involves the mind, emotions, and stamina. You need to be able to stay present, be flexible, and have a lot of stamina. Regular exercise can help with all of these things, increasing blood flow, energy, and general attractiveness. Because of these chances to connect, women are often drawn to men who are confident and take care of their bodies, even if they don't meet traditional standards of physical perfection. 2 out of 3 people are unhappy with their sex lives, which is a sobering reminder of how important it is to communicate and understand each other in order to build closeness. Different sexual positions offer different feelings and benefits that show how partners can connect in different ways. For example, the 69th position focuses on shared pleasure and mutual sex, while the doggy-style position often allows for deeper penetration that many men find especially satisfying. Biology also plays a role in attraction in addition to physical processes. The strong male hormone testosterone gives off a slight scent that women naturally find attractive. Surprisingly, some colognes are made to smell like this natural scent. Allure making chemistry and desire stronger. There are good and bad things about being in a long-term relationship. It's interesting that couples whose personalities and tastes are too similar may find that their love for each other fades over time, since it's often the differences and dynamic interactions between partners that keep the flame alive. During different stages of life, including menopause, women may also experience changes in their sexual desire. This shows that intimacy changes over the course of a lifetime. As long as both partners remain committed to nurturing their bond, physical closeness and mental connection often grow stronger over time. Sexual education is very important for busting myths and building confidence. For example, the myth of dead vagina syndrome, which says that frequent sex makes the vaginal area less sensitive, is completely false. On the contrary, regular intimacy approached with care and enthusiasm can boost vitality and strengthen emotional bonds. Getting the right education can also help people feel less anxious, which gives them the confidence and curiosity to accept their sexuality. For an intimate relationship to work, both people must be willing to accept, adapt, and be vulnerable with each other. It means changing what you expect, looking at new options, and enjoying the unique path of link between two people, for some attraction lasts longer. Intimacy has deeper emotional and intellectual aspects than just physical attraction, as seen in sapiosexuality, sexual attraction based on intelligence. Shared conversations and mutual respect can spark a deeper kind of desire. In the end, the path to sexual and emotional fulfillment is one of discovery, acceptance, and growth. When partners approach intimacy with patience, curiosity, and a willingness to learn, they open up a world of possibilities, a place full of desire, trust, and connections and love that can go on forever. The Carita method, which is based on compassion and awareness, puts more value on the emotional bond between partners than on having an orgasm. This method tells couples to take it easy and enjoy every moment of closeness as a chance to grow closer and trust each other more deeply. Women often really value guys who take care of themselves. For some women, something as easy as well-groomed hair or a beard that is neatly trimmed can show respect and care, leaving a lasting impression. When paired with respect and sensitivity, a man's insistence in courtship can be a sign of devotion without being aggressive or cocky. Is anyone still watching this movie with me? If so, please let me know in the first comment below that you are still watching it. Sexual fantasies, which are often misunderstood, can be a healthy and enriching part of one's inner world. These private thoughts don't always come from real wants, but they can be used to be creative and learn more about oneself. The thrill of new things, adding new things, exploring shared fantasies, or deepening an emotional bond has been shown to reignite passion and excitement in relationships. This fits with Robert Sternberg's triangular theory of love, which says that intimacy, passion, and commitment are the building blocks of love. The way these three parts interact creates different kinds of love, from short-lived crushes to long-lasting partnerships. Some people live with constant and uncontrollable sexual arousal that can't be explained. It can be lonely and hard to understand how people deal with intimacy and sexuality in their relationships. Attachment styles, such as secure, avoidant, or anxious, have a big impact on how people do this. Knowing your attachment style can help you become more self-aware and improve your relationships. Despite what most people think, sexual behavior does not decrease with age. In fact, many people continue to have satisfying sexual relationships well into their senior years. Research shows that sexual pleasure is not limited by age, but rather by emotional connection, communication, and understanding between both partners. Being able to smell a strong but subtle force is a big part of sexual desire. Some senses can wake up. Deep emotions can heighten arousal and even create a unique sensory bond between partners. For some people, arousal is linked to complicated or unusual themes like violence or power. While these fantasies may make people uncomfortable, they don't always lead to harmful actions. Other things like weather and sunlight can have a subtle effect on sexual drive. Warmer. Longer days and more energy during certain seasons are often linked to more intimacy and activity. Deep emotional resonance in music can also deepen connection and attraction, weaving a melody that speaks to the heart. Interestingly, some people experience anhedonic orgasms, a state where physical release happens without the accompanying sense of pleasure. This shows how complex the relationship is between the mind and body in sexual satisfaction. Visual cues are also important. For example, the color red is always linked to attraction, passion, and desire. However, for many people, sexual satisfaction goes beyond the physical and depends on mental and emotional connection instead. It's often more important for a partner to be able to understand, listen, and relate than the way people look. Feeling watched or judged, on the other hand, can stop you from getting aroused or even having an orgasm. Men who have problems like erectile dysfunction often feel very sad and depressed. Self-esteem is hurt by stigma and misunderstanding, and relationships are strained. But practices like yoga offer hope. Studies link yoga to better libido and general sexual function. Putting the focus on the link between physical health and mental happiness, cybersex, or sexual activity that happens online, has both pros and cons. If done with clear communication and consent, it can help people get closer. But if there isn't enough physical touch like hugs, kisses, or shared moments of affection, it can cause emotional distance and dissatisfaction in relationships. Things like the ethical non-monogamy problem, traditional norms, stress open communication, honesty, and mutual respect as the building blocks of connection. Even foods and eating habits can have sensual themes, with some tastes and textures making people want to play and be in a relationship. Curiosity and a willingness to explore are important for keeping intimacy alive. This is especially true as men and women deal with the natural changes that come with getting older. For example, erections may become slower, less firm, and less frequent after age 40, and especially after age 50. This shows how important patience, understanding, and adaptability are in keeping sexual relationships fulfilling. Did you know that 97% of women around the world say that a partner's attentiveness in bed is a big reason why they chose them? This number shows how important connection, communication, and caring for each other are for sexual pleasure. For example, studies have shown that women in love can sync their heartbeats with their partners after gazing into their eyes for just 2 minutes. This is a powerful reminder of the unspoken, almost magical bonds that bind us all. In the end, sexual and emotional fulfillment is a lifelong journey marked by discovery, connection, and growth, whether through the warmth of a shared embrace, the thrill of whispered secrets, or the unspoken intimacy of mutual understanding. There is always the power of love and desire to change lives, no matter what age. The doggy style pose has been found to help women get an orgasm the most. In addition to clitoral orgasms, women can also have them when other erogenous areas, like the nipples, are stimulated. Often do physical exercises to make their penises longer, and some get up to 4 centimeters of growth. Trying out different positions can help both partners find erogenous pressure points. Women's sexual desire changes more than men's. A study found that women spend a year of their lives choosing what to wear. A woman's eyes can say a lot, so pay attention to what she looks like. Women often compliment each other in groups, but not always in a sincere way. Women judge quickly, and most of the time they're right. Women don't like being compared to others, but they do compare themselves to themselves all the time. Women take longer to make decisions, but they're more likely to stick with them. Women cheat more quietly, and they usually have a good reason. When women are upset, they love to talk about it. If a woman is very quiet, it could mean she is truly hurt and is thinking about other ways to find happiness while she is solving her problems. Men mostly use the left side of their brains, while women use both sides. Surprise gifts. Flowers and parties are great ways to make women feel special, but if you aren't clear about your goals from the start, a woman can easily put you in the friend zone. Most of the time, women are jealous of rich or famous men, while men are jealous of pretty women. A woman's smile shows how much time they spent together. Trusting each other is an important part of any relationship because it builds a strong base for growth and security. Body language and other forms of nonverbal communication are very important for figuring out how someone feels and what they want. Foreplay is an important part of sexual intimacy because it makes the pleasure and mental connection much stronger. Being honest about your sexual wants and needs can make things better. To make a couple's intimate life more harmonious, anticipation and creativity can spark a relationship spark, leading to a more fulfilling sex life. The link between mental health and sexual health stresses how important it is to deal with emotional issues for a satisfying intimate life. Women can have orgasms through different types of stimulation, such as clitoral, vaginal, G-spot, nipple, or even without direct physical stimulation. Orgasms in women are very different in how strong they are and how long they last. They depend on both mental and physical factors. Realizing that a woman's breasts affect her self-esteem and comfort is important for her to accept herself, no matter what size or shape they are. For many women, breast massage is enjoyable. Respecting someone's choices and limits is always important. After working out, women may find sex more enjoyable because their blood flow and testosterone levels are higher. Just giving her a hug can mean a lot. A third of women over 80 are still sexually active with their partners. The vagina is 7 to 10 centimeters long, but it can get 200% longer when you get aroused. Hormones have a big effect on sexual desires, culture, learning, and thought. About 8% of dreams for adults are sexual. Coitophobia, or the fear of having sex, is often caused by deep psychological or mental issues. Researchers at Roots have found that when women are most fertile, they are more drawn to facial features that men have. According to Princeton University, selective sexual aversion is when a person wants to be with someone else, but not their present partner. Sex does affect happiness to a certain point, but more and more often it does so. More than once a week doesn't have a big effect on life happiness. Studies show that people who are sexually active often look younger than their friends who are not sexually active. Too much time spent on social media may hurt sexual happiness. When someone's sexual feelings don't match up with what society expects of them, it's called sexual dissonance. This can cause internal conflict and unhappiness. Sexual dissonance can show up in a lot of different ways, like feeling like you have to meet unrealistic standards or fit in with society. How sex should be done. To fix this dissonance, people often need to talk about their feelings, think about themselves, and sometimes get expert help to align their sexual desires with realistic and satisfying experiences. The second comment below lets me know that you are still watching this video with me. If you think these lessons are helpful, please let me know. Both mental and physical. Taking care of your physical health with regular exercise, a healthy diet, and enough sleep has a direct effect on your sexual vitality. Heart health is especially important for both men and women when it comes to function and arousal. Emotional health, which includes dealing with worry and building a good sense of self-worth, is just as important. Stress or unresolved mental problems can lower libido and cause strain. Close love relationships, age and sexuality. As people get older, their sexual needs and abilities may change, but closeness can still be a very important part of their lives. For example, women may have less lubrication or hormonal changes during menopause, while men may have erectile dysfunction. These changes happen naturally and can be handled by changing how you talk to people and sometimes getting medical help. Using lubricants or prescription drugs can help you have satisfying sexual adventures. What communication means. Open and honest communication is the key to a happy sexual relationship. It builds trust, understanding, and closeness by making it safe to talk about likes and dislikes, fantasies, and limits. With respect for each other and a sense of excitement, couples can find their way to what they want. These talks help build a stronger emotional bond, making partners feel heard and respected. They also keep misunderstandings from happening, get rid of the guesswork, and deal with any worries or fears that may come up over time. Talking about personal things isn't just a way to get something, it's also a sign of trust and weakness. Sharing one's fantasies and preferences takes courage, because it often means revealing very private parts of oneself. When partners receive this honesty with understanding and approval, it improves their emotional connection. Researchers have found that couples who talk about their sex lives on a regular basis are happier and closer. This isn't about being perfect, but about being willing to learn and grow together. Also, good communication goes beyond the bedroom. Other than words, nonverbal cues like touch, eye contact and body language are also very important for showing love and reassurance. People who are good at both talking and body language often find that their intimacy goes beyond the physical act and becomes a deep link of hearts and minds. The effects of technology. Technology has changed the way we connect with each other. New tools that can improve intimacy in unexpected and unique ways. Sexting, video calls and online dating sites have made it easier than ever for couples to stay close sexually and emotionally, even when they live far apart. These tools give people a creative way to express their desire, explore their fantasies, and keep the spark alive. For long-distance couples, technology can bridge the gap, letting them share private moments and feel close to each other. But the digital age also brings problems. When tone and context are lost in text messages or digital interactions, it can lead to misunderstandings. The ease of access to virtual connections can sometimes lead to cheating or emotional distance, because partners may turn to their screens instead of each other. Over-reliance on technology can also make it harder to be physically close, so it's important to find a balance between the virtual and the real. The best way to use technology to your advantage is to use it in addition to or instead of face-to-face interaction. Some things that can strengthen the relationship are doing things together, like watching a movie online or sending each other thoughtful notes. Limiting screen time can help the relationship, not hurt it. Cultural and societal factors. In many societies, cultural norms and societal expectations have a big impact on how people feel about sex relationships and intimacy. These norms reinforce harmful stereotypes, like the idea that getting older means losing sexual vitality, or that being physically attractive means being desirable. These false beliefs can put too much pressure on people, making them feel inadequate or unworthy of intimacy, like older adults. May believe that sexual pleasure decreases with age, which makes them less likely to explore their desires. In the same way, society's focus on youth and physical beauty can overshadow the emotional, mental, and spiritual aspects of intimacy that stay alive throughout life. Breaking free from these limiting stories is a freeing process that lets people enjoy their own unique, intimate experiences without shame or comparison. When you challenge social norms, you have to rethink what it means to be desirable. Often, confidence, emotional intelligence, and being yourself are more appealing than conventional beauty standards. When couples refuse to give in to outside pressure and instead work on mutual understanding and respect, their relationships often grow stronger. Experimenting and being new can be fun at first, but over time, routine can set in for even the most adventurous couples. Having strong relationships, putting out the fire that once burned brightly, experimentation and novelty are strong ways to reignite desire and encourage a sense of playfulness and curiosity between partners by adding new things like trying out different positions. When you play pretend or use toys, you can create fun and exciting chances for discovery and shared pleasure. Novelty activates the brain's reward system, releasing dopamine that makes us feel excited, rewarded, and looking forward to new experiences. These shared experiences build trust and intimacy as partners navigate new territory together. The act of trying something new, whether it's as simple as switching places or as exciting as exploring a fantasy, strengthens the emotional bond and reminds couples that their relationship is always changing and growing. Most important experiments need open conversation and both parties' permission. Your partner should be able to talk about their limits without worrying about being judged. This makes sure that both of you are comfortable and excited about the exploration. This mutual respect turns surprise into a way to connect deeper instead of something that makes you feel pressured or uncomfortable. How important it is to look into yourself. Knowing yourself is the first step to having a satisfying sexual relationship. Physical and mental self-exploration are the keys to finding out what you want, what you don't want, and what you prefer. People gain the courage to tell their partners what they need by going on this journey of self-discovery. Self-exploration also helps people feel more independent and loves themselves. It serves as a lesson that intimacy isn't just about making someone else happy, it's also about respecting your own body and wants for some. As part of this process, people may explore their bodies by finding erogenous zones or trying out different kinds of touch for others. It could involve looking at your feelings and figuring out things like what sets you off or how past events have affected how you feel about closeness now. When partners put self-awareness first, they are better able to make connections that are important and satisfying. Their confidence and clarity build a foundation of trust and openness that makes their relationships better overall and helps them make lasting connections. True intimacy is more than just touching. It includes emotional closeness, intellectual stimulation, and even spiritual harmony. To make a link last, you have to keep working at it. Creativity and the power to change. While doing things together, like making a meal, going for a walk, or just sitting quietly, couples can strengthen their relationship in places other than the bedroom. Really deep talks. Acts of kindness and expressions of thanks are what make a relationship last. These actions show care and appreciation, which strengthens the sense of partnership that keeps relationships going over time. As life changes, so do people's needs and wants. Being aware of these changes and ready to adapt them keeps intimacy alive and important. If you're still watching this movie and think these lessons are helpful, please leave a third comment below to let me know. Keeping your interest alive often takes planning. Small things like writing a sweet note or planning a surprise date can bring back the romance of the early stages of a relationship. At the same time, being honest about and accepting each other's flaws creates a safe place for growth and connection. Last thoughts. Sexuality is a complex part of life that is made up of physical sensation, emotional connection, and societal pressure. It's a journey that changes over time as people's priorities shift and their relationships grow. It's important to be open to all of its complexities. Intimacy that is deeply satisfying and deeply enriching can be built between individuals and couples at any stage of life. Prioritizing health, communication, and mutual respect will ensure that intimacy remains a source of joy, connection, and renewal. For those willing to put in the work to be creative, the rewards are immeasurable. A relationship based on trust grows and changes over time, and it celebrates where love can go. What did you learn today about the complexities of intimacy and connection? Was it the science behind female pleasure, how important it is to communicate, or how the ability to be vulnerable can help you build long relationships? Tell us in the comments what one thing you'll do differently because of this video. If you liked this in-depth look at intimacy and relationships, please leave a comment with your thoughts, and let's start a meaningful conversation. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content that inspires growth, connection, and understanding. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.